Hi, everybody. It is Kanisha Coleman, the Beauty CPA, and I help beauty entrepreneurs save money on their taxes with CFO services and effective tax planning. So, I know some of you are like, what are you doing? It's not 3:30 p.m. CST. So, I was supposed to originally go live at 3:30. However, life happened, and I have to take my daughter to the doctor an hour earlier or a little earlier than expected. So I am here now. I didn't want to leave y'all hanging. I still want to come on and do this quick video. I want to talk about budgeting, making your beauty business future money go. So this is all about coming up with that revenue figure or sales. This is basically all the money that you plan to make for 2021. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to, really dream when it comes to this, right? I don't want you guys to have in your head first and foremost to be realistic at all, because what I find is that impedes with your ability to really go big. Right, so that's what I want you to do first and foremost when we think about creating a revenue goal. Now, I made a post yesterday evening. It said that the beauty industry is going to be worth like $863 billion by year like 2023. That's what it said. So in my mind, it says to me that there is lots of room and opportunity for all of you to have six-figure goals, six-figure revenue goals. Now, remember, I'm talking about revenue. So that's the top line, right? We're not taking into account any expenses yet, right? We're just talking about the money you want to bring into your beauty business. If this industry is worth $863 billion, you have room. You have room to make at least $100,000, okay? The average American woman spends over $300 on making herself look and or feel beautiful. $300 a month, not like a year, but a month. So not only is the beauty industry booming and growing even during the pandemic, but people are still spending money. They are still spending money. There has been no signs that they've slowed down spending money. They may have slowed down in the way they purchase things, right? They switched that up because we were forced to, but the dollar amount has not decreased. So let's get into making that, that future money goal for your beauty business. I want you to use these 4 points I'm about to go through as your jumping off point. There are other steps to this. There's layers to this. But I want you to use this as a jumping off point. So number 1, what are your current expenses? List all of your current expenses. Now, if you've been keeping up with bookkeeping, hopefully all of you have. If you've been keeping up with bookkeeping, this should be fairly easy for you to do. You just go to your latest profit and loss statement, and then you have all of your expenses, your cost of goods sold, which are the direct costs you incur to provide your service to your client or make your product that you sell, and your overhead, right? So all of the other miscellaneous costs that you incur to run your business. You want all of those expenses, no matter how small it is, $5 a month, whatever it is, list all those expenses. In addition to that, I want you to take into account, what you want to pay yourself. You have to pay yourself. So we're gonna have that in our mind. We're gonna add that to our expenses. And then we're going to keep in mind the money that we want to save, whether you are building an emergency fund with these savings or whether you are planning to reinvest this money back into your business. Add all of these costs up. We're going to use that pool of costs, right, as your break-even point. That is the amount of money that you at least need to run your business. Okay, so as long as you make that amount, you can still run your business, but we're not going to stop there because that's the equivalent of like living paycheck to paycheck. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to live like, paycheck to paycheck in our business. So that's your jumping off point. That gets you to number 2, or now that's when I really want you to dream big and shoot for the moon, because any amount you add after your break even point, that's just icing on the cake. That is icing on the cake for you. So really like go for it. Let your imagination run wild. Now I know some of you are like, but Kanisha, what my imagination is wild and it can get big and it's just not realistic. We're going to look at how we can make it realistic, and we're going to look at how we can achieve it. But for now, just dream big and go for it. Step number 3, map out your revenue model. So not only do we now have our break-even point, and then you have dream big, then you use your imagination, and you got your shoot for the moon revenue number. Now, how can we achieve this number? I want you to list the ways in which you can make money. Now, if the pandemic has taught us nothing, it should have taught us that we need more than one revenue stream within our business. And those revenue streams cannot be dependent on whether we are in our clients' faces or not, right? What can we do that does not require touch? What revenue streams can we have in our beauty businesses that are virtual, that are passive in nature? You can at least have 2 at a minimum. You can have 2, right? So if you are an esthetician, of course you provide all your services in person, but you can also have virtual paid consultations to come up with basic skincare regimens and then sell the accompanying product to the client, right? You can have tutorials on how to create your at-home mask. You can create informational products, e-guides, for people with very, very specific problems with their skin. There are a number of things you can do, but you can at least think of 2, and at least one of them needs to be virtual or passive in nature, because we only got so much time in a day, right? So after you got the ways in which you can make money, let's make it doable. Number 4, the last step, is make sure it's doable. So notice I didn't say realistic, right? Realistic is very subjective. And I don't want us to use that word as a crutch to stay in our comfort zones. I'm going to say doable, something that you can actually pull off, right? So for example, right, if you look at, let's just go to a really quick example, right? Let's say your shoot for the moon revenue goal, the money you want to make in 2021 is $100,000, right? Let's say out of the year, it's 52 weeks in a year, but I don't want you guys to work all 52 weeks. I want you to have breaks for vacation, for sickness, for mental health, for self-care, whatever. So let's say you're in almost 49 weeks out of the year. So we're going to divide $100,000, which is your shoot for the moon revenue goal. Divide that by 49 weeks. You have to make $2,040 a week. Let's break that down by day. Now, I don't want you working 7 days a week either. I want you working 5 days a week, because you deserve time for yourself, for your family, for your spouse, for your children, if you have them, for your friends. So we're going to divide that by 5 days out of the week that you're going to work. You have to make $408 a day, 5 days a week, 49 weeks out of the year. Can you make that? If you look at your sales prices and your revenue model, the ways in which you make money and what you charge for those specific services or products you deliver, can you make $408 a day? I think you can. It seems realistic to me. So that's how I want you to break that down. We are going to get into, we're going to go deeper into expenses on a later post, a later live, right? A later post, a later live, we'll get into deeper into expenses, because I want to give you guys expense allocations. There are like benchmarks, like the average amount of money that's spent on very specific expenses for people in the beauty industry. I want to give you those, and then I want to look at net profit a little deeper as well. But this is just about revenue, what you want to earn for all of 2021. So we'll get into other stuff later, but just concentrate on that. Casey says she loves this breakdown, right? It becomes way more realistic and like doable and less scary when you break it down by week and by day, right? So if I think of the typical esthetician, like for example, I've been to a spa where I've spent over $200 for esthetician services, and that's just me. That's just one client. And if it takes you maybe an hour or two to serve each client in an 8-hour day, maybe you could serve 4 clients and you get on average 200 per ticket. That's $800 a day you can make. That's double our estimate here. If you do that consistently 5 days a week, 49 weeks out of the year, that's almost $200,000 of revenue. So you can do this. If you're having a hard time thinking you can make $408 a day from your products or services, look at your pricing. Look at your pricing. Should you be charging more? Right? Should you be charging more? That's a whole nother subject. But I think that all of you, you can do $408 a day to reach a 100K goal. Like I said, the beauty industry is worth almost $863 billion. It is enough room for you to make 6 figures from what you do. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm sorry for coming on so early, but life happens. But I did still want to provide you with this content. I will be on in a couple more days so that I can go over the expense side of budgeting. I want you guys to see what these allocations are. When I give you the expense allocations, I want you to compare the percentages to what you spend now. And I want you to see whether you're too high or maybe too low. Maybe you got a little room more to invest. So stay tuned for that. I hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and I will come back on and talk to you guys in a couple of days or so. And thank you. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments, or questions, leave them in the comments section, and I'll get to them. Thank you. Have a good day.